General Spaulding, you basically said we're at war with China, we just don't realize it. What can we do? What are the kind of things we should be doing now to get us to win the innovation race, which is what the movie talks about, and to preserve liberty around the world? How do we do it?
Well, not only if we want to win this race, not only do we have to fix the patent system, we have to get rid of the America Invents Act. We actually have to begin to invest in science and technology again. Back during the first Cold War, we were spending 2% of our GDP on research and development. And places like Silicon Valley and Boston, tech centers of the United States, they came from the Cold War and the money that we invested in science and technology. You know who's investing today? It's the Chinese Communist Party. They're investing in technology. And often today, our scientists are going over there and helping the Chinese because we don't have the same type of money being invested here. So they want to go where the data is, and you go, the way you collect data is by conducting experiments, and these experiments cost money, and the Chinese are investing their dollars in it, actually our dollars, because they take from us. But we need to start doing that, and I think if we want to be successful on it, that's one of the things that in the war, that's what we need to do.
One of our answers here in the Economic War Room, we've got two problems. One of them is what you just described. Another one is we have this mass income disparity. So the wealthy get wealthier and the poor get poorer. And so one of the solutions for that is to share broadly ownership. And one of the ways to do that is to educate American investors to invest in things that promote liberty, security, and value. So we're training financial advisors at Liberty University. We're going to train 10,000 of them. If we achieve that, we'll have $1 trillion of patriotic capital to invest in things that will make America strong again so we can export liberty rather than import tyranny. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. Making investment is a big part of what we do. And you've got a company, by the way, that could replace Huawei and might open up investment opportunities for Americans. Can you describe Semper and how it's making a difference in the innovation race?
Yeah, so Semper stems from a project I was working on in the Air Force before I retired. I asked the leadership to let me leave and take it into the private sector. It really involves securing 5G networks. I believe that data and critical infrastructure is so important to protecting our sovereignty, particularly our digital sovereignty over our data, which the Chinese have enormous power over, collecting today and then using for their own ends. And so our company Semper stands for Secure EMP Resistant Edge. One of the things that we wanted to do was protect our telecommunications infrastructure from things like an EMP blast, which comes from a high altitude nuclear weapon, or could come from a solar flare. What we found was 5G really, because it was entirely in software, previously bespoke hardware was now written in code. You could create very hardened infrastructure nodes that gave you all the capacity to protect data, but also protect critical infrastructure. So today, if you look at what happened in Florida with the hurricanes, for example, our networks go down, and it takes often weeks or months to get them back up. The AT&T bombing 2 Christmases ago in Nashville, Tennessee, which took down Tennessee and surrounding states for up to two weeks. They had perfectly operational cell towers that were just dumb because they had no connection to the brains. And so what we've created are hardened cell towers that have the full data center and full connection to the smarts that allow them to continue to operate even if we have an EMP or some kind of natural disaster. So we're about building, owning, operating infrastructure that supports critical infrastructure in the United States, protects the military, protects first responders, protects financial institutions, and all of those things that we need to have continue to run even if we have a natural disaster or some kind of attack.